Meat City, baby.
Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another video in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Today we're covering Shadows and Secrets, the latest assault battle, which you battle Sith using either Phoenix or Night Sisters. And as the Night Sisters have just released, I don't have them yet, so instead I am using Phoenix Squad. And the trick to the bonus tier, which is what I'm covering today, is the screen you just saw, avoiding Sidious's AoE attack. It is huge. It can crit in the bonus tier for 33,000 damage. And so that's the trick. How do you avoid that? If you can get past that, the only other difference in the bonus tier is that Darth Nihilus, who you meet in Wave 8, starts with his Annihilate ability off cooldown. So you are going to lose somebody on his first turn. So you are going to lose somebody pretty much no matter what. I don't think you'll be able to keep him from going for the entire 8th wave. Maybe you can, but the biggest challenge is going to be Sidious. So what I'm doing, I'm using the same team that I used for the Grand Admiral Thrawn challenge. Everyone is at gear 8 except for Ezra. He's at gear 10. I'm using the same mods, but I've switched around the priority. If you want to see the detail of who's got what speed and stats and mods, that's at the end of this full run of the bonus tier. If you want to see either the first or second tier runs, I'll put those in a separate video, just because this would be way too long with them in it. There won't be any commentary, but if you want to see how the first or second tiers go, you can check out that other video on my channel. Feel free to subscribe to Meat City Gaming for future notifications on my Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content. So, as you're working your way towards Wave 4, you want to keep everyone topped off. That's pretty easy to do with Phoenix. They regenerate protection as long as you have Zeb. If you have Chopper, you'll also be regenning health. But you want to make sure you put protection up on somebody if they start getting focused. You don't really want to taunt early on here, because then that one character will take more damage. And what I've seen, you need to be able to take, at least 20,000 in damage, but you want to take as much as possible. So know the statistics of your characters that you're bringing in. Know who the weaker characters are, right? Kanan is probably going to be one of the tankier characters with more health and protection. Zeb probably also going to be one of the stronger characters. You're probably going to be worried about Hera and Sabine if you're using my team. Obviously, if you have different characters, you'll know their strengths and weaknesses. But Hera and Sabine have low health and protection. So what you want to try and do early on is get a stagger off with Sabine, as I do there. Zeb can also stagger, so you want to make sure that you alternate your staggers. Keep Sidious's first turn from going as long as possible so you can prepare for it. Use the ability that is part of the event. It gives everyone speed up. It gives them health regen, which we don't need yet, but the speed up is important. We want to get protection on Hera, and then I use Hera's buff when her turn comes up to put the revive on Sabine. So that way, I give Hera as much protection as possible, I give Sabine a revive, and if any of them take a big hit, then hopefully Hera would survive with the extra protection, and if Sabine goes down, she'll self-res due to Hera's buff. So, as you can see, we are in pretty good shape. Full health, full protection. Hera's got some extra protection. We now put backup plan on, and hopefully the other thing you can do here is get offense down using Kanan's basic, and we do. So this is really good. Now offense down is on Sidious as well. That will lower his damage, and now we're just going to prepare. The first attack is going to be the AoE. There's nothing you can do to change that as far as I know, aside from manipulating his cooldowns, which this team is not capable of doing. So one more time, we had Zeb's protection up ability. Here comes the big hit, and boom, we make it through very well. Sabine obviously got the lowest there, but we had some resistances to his status effects, and that also helped, I think, regain a little bit of protection there and keep everybody from getting wiped out. But even if Sabine had taken more damage, she would have come back. So that was the perfect setup there. We had both of our staggers go. We had time to get protection up. We had time to get speed up, have our team at full health, full protection, bonus protection on Hera, and we were able to take that hit. And now his AoE is on cooldown. We want to try and get our recovery phase here. You don't need to worry about burning him down, but you don't want to waste too much time. Again, you'll get some staggers up, so you'll be able to delay the turn meter for Sidious here and continue your recovery, and you should be at pretty close to full health and full protection. You can use, once it's off cooldown again, the event buff, which will give health steal. So for this team, that's the weakness. It doesn't really regen health. but you get health steal for the team when you use the event buff. So here we are. We've got all of Sidious's protection down just about, and the health is not as high as the protection for Sidious. The protection is the tough part. It's probably 2/3 of his total HP, and then the health is just 1/3. So it looks daunting, but once you get through the protection, the health falls pretty fast. And of course, getting 2 armor breaks with Sabine's Darksaber Strike really helps as well. It lowers Sidious's damage, and you can take him out more quickly. From here, you're kind of cruising now. Obviously, Vader can be a somewhat challenging target. He's behind some tanks, and there's a scout here as well, which can put the target lock buff on you, which can hurt your team a little bit more. So we want to try to prevent Vader from getting his Force Crush off. You can use Zeb's stun. First, you get a daze, or you get a stagger, and then Zeb can stun the target. So we get Vader stunned, and I tried to take him out there with Kanan, but wasn't quite able to do it. Thankfully, AoEs are Phoenix's friend. These grenades go out. You've got 3, 4, 5 counterattacks coming. You can wipe out these characters just based off of that. And thankfully, we're able to do so and then eliminate Vader before he gets any big attacks out. One thing I forgot to mention in the Sidious part of the battle, he has really high evasion compared to when he's facing Jedi, when Jedi are attacking him. So in my Thrawn run, I gave most of my speed to Ezra. Ezra was my super damage dealer. He was my DPS focused target. But I didn't do that for this battle, and I recommend you don't either. Sabine got my best mods. She got my highest speed because she also does damage, and she can also have that quick cooldown stagger, but she's not a Jedi. So Sidious, you could see in the wave 4 there, dodged quite a few of my Jedi's attacks, but if you're not a Jedi, he doesn't get to give it the bonus evasion. So Sabine is a good choice there for extra speed. I think Zeb is my second fastest character. And then, of course, I did increase Ezra's abilities. I did want his crit chance, crit damage up a little bit. So when he does hit, he's hitting hard. And if you're not facing Sidious, obviously, you want him to be hitting hard, and he'll hit quite often and can be a great damage dealer for you as well. So in this phase here, no major threats. You want to watch out. I guess you could get a lot of advantage being given out by Phasma, but these are mostly Stormtroopers, First Order Stormtroopers, so their damage potential isn't great. And as the name suggests for Phoenix, you want to rise from the ashes each wave. You're going to take some hits early on, you're going to get beat up, your protection's going to go down, but once you start eliminating enemies from the enemy wave, when you get 2 or 3 of them down, then draw out that wave. Just use basic attacks because every attack is regenning protection. So you can take some damage early, but then rise from the ashes like the Phoenix and regen that protection and go into the next wave basically at 100% health. This is a great advantage of this team, especially if you're using Zeb. He really provides a great regen ability that makes this team's sustain great. If you can avoid a big burst all focused on one target, you can pretty much bring a character back from any amount of health and protection. So try to do that as well. Eliminate the high damage, the high threat target first, and then after that, you don't need to burn through your highest abilities. You want all your cooldowns available at the start of each wave, so just cycle through some basics once the main damage dealers are down. So here we've got 2 First Order TIE pilots. They can deal some damage, so you want to be careful, but as always, you can use staggers and stuns, and we save the First Order officer for last. He's taken out easily, and now here we are in the final wave, and it's Darth Nihilus with a Sith Assassin and a Sith Trooper. Nihilus's health is crazy. It's really high, so you're not going to just burn him down. I suggest trying to get rid of the Assassin first if you can with a nice burst. We were able to do that. Then the Trooper got his taunt up. The Trooper has a lot of defense, so you can try to get the Assassin down before the Trooper taunts. That's great. You're going to avoid 1 or 2 big hits from the Assassin. Then Nihilus took his turn and eliminated Zeb, and that's fine. I know you cannot stun boss characters, so you can't stun Sidious in Wave 4. You can't stun Nihilus in Wave 8. So Zeb is a hard hitter. He's a good tanky character. He can't taunt, but I would rather lose him than probably anybody else here, other than maybe Hera at this point. Hera is not doing a whole lot for the team. But she does call assists. So again, that was a fortunate annihilate target. If Nihilus had taken out Ezra, would I have been able to beat it on this run? I don't know. I still think so, but it would have been much closer. Once you've got Nihilus down, even if he annihilates 2 of your characters, as long as you've got 1 good DPS in there and somebody who can call and assist to that DPS, you'll probably have enough firepower to get through this. So at this point, we have Nihilus under control. We are trying to make sure we don't have a snafu. Obviously, Nihilus is working on his cooldowns for his second Annihilate, and we want to avoid that if possible. So we're shredding armor, we're staggering when we can. Stagger does work even if stun does not. And then I'm trying to avoid any big hits. If somebody gets low, I am going to put protection up. Or if Ezra has a debuff, I'll use Kanan to cleanse it, because the debuff can cause Ezra to double attack less. And obviously you want the damage going out as quickly as possible here. So I think at this stage, yep, I do. I use the event buff, and that gives everyone speed up, again, increasing your DPS. I actually messed this fight up twice. I think I use my staggers at the worst time possible. I use them when the next turn is going to be Nihilus's. So I give him stagger, then Nihilus attacks, and he goes to 0 turn meter, and then my counter attack takes the stagger away and does nothing. So you can do this fight even better than I did it, more efficiently, and use the stagger to your advantage. You want to use stagger when you know you'll still get 1 more attack in before Nihilus's, so that you can then remove 80% of his turn meter. And as you can see here, Nihilus is down to about 1/4 of his health. He does get another Annihilate off, takes out Kanan, but we have enough left between Ezra and Sabine to finish him off. And there's the rewards. As you can see, I mean, that's pretty nice. Darth Nihilus 10 shards is at least, on average, a 10-day farm on the hard nodes. And there's some of those other Sith characters in there that are on pretty tough Cantina nodes. The Assassin and the Trooper and some of the ships as well are not always common drops. So some great rewards here. Able to put this one down. It took a little bit of strategy. I thought this was balanced very well. It gave you a little bit of a puzzle on wave 4. You can't just brute force that one if your characters aren't super high leveled. Obviously, if you're at gear 9 or 10, you could probably take that hit from Sidious and you'd be fine. But I thought this was well done, a good event, entertaining, a little bit of a challenge, but doable without having to waste any additional gear on the squad that I had in order to get Thrawn. So I'm running through the team now. Hopefully you guys found this video useful. If you did, please feel free to leave a like. And as I said before, you can always subscribe to Meat City Gaming if you're interested in future Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.